As you may know, the theme for the GMTK 2022 Game Jam was Roll of the Dice, and I feel like there are lots of games with unfair randomness out there, but I think I did a good job in not making my entry one of them, so I'd like to talk about how. The idea we went with was a 2D top-down game where every couple of seconds the player gets assigned a random weapon and a random ability from a pool. On the current Gem version there are 4 weapons and 4 abilities. I myself think almost all weapons and abilities are good and provide interesting gameplay, but the way we made randomness feel more fair is by letting the player rule out the weapons and abilities they like the least. Here's how it works in more detail. Every time an enemy dies, there's a chance they drop a dice. It can either be a weapon dice or an ability dice. If the player picks up the dice, they can rule out one more weapon or ability, and the max number of abilities or weapons they can rule out is 2. As the run progresses, this lets the player use only the weapons and the abilities they like the most, which makes the randomness feel more fair. Given the fact that at the start of the game the player has not ruled out anything, another cool thing we did is that we let the player choose their started weapon and ability. This honestly doesn't matter that much because the game is quite easy at the start, but it's nice to have regardless. Since you're still here, I'd also like to talk about how the weapons damage and the enemy's health are balanced and about what people are thinking of the game so far. The way I balanced the game was actually quite funny. I made a chart with each of the 4 weapons on one axis and the 3 enemies on the other axis, and for each coordinate, I choose the number of hits each weapon should deal to each enemy to kill them. Then my father helped me get a damage value for each weapon and a health value for each enemy which fulfills all desired number of hits with an Excel sheet. People so far seem to be enjoying the game, but the main thing some people don't really get is what each ability and each weapon does. Now, there is a button in the menu that the player can click to see a description for each weapon and ability, but people don't really seem to be noticing it. If I could, I would fix 2 bugs and display a text explanation for each item and ability when the player's mouse go over their icons on the Choose Started item scene. If you'd like to play the game, there's a link in the description. Thanks for watching and see ya!